Shit, am I getting canceled or what, boys? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What up, everybody? Jew saying fuck the haters. I know Castro never lies. We know the truth. Shit, even if they want to deny it, we know the motherfucking truth and we know I ain't lying. Shout out to Jake Shields. If you know, you know. But if you don't know, stay tuned because I think Jake Shields might be calling me a liar. All right? Now, I think the last thing Mr. Jake Shields wants is to ruin his credibility coming at me. All right. But shit, I might be getting canceled for posting this Nick Diaz and Nate Diaz are beefing. Shit. Give me a minute, boys. I'm going to post this to my story real quick and then we'll get started. I'm going to save all my thoughts for once we officially get started. But Miata Boy saying, you're late, lock in, Unk. Shit, I'm here, homie. And I ain't 30 yet. Please refrain from the Unk. I'm just playing. You can call me whatever the hell you want to call me. But what up, Miata Boy? What up, James Steele, yo? Daniel, yo? What up, everybody? Shit, my neighbor probably just woke up too. She probably like was sound asleep and then I just started yelling out of nowhere. But shit, I'm excited, boys. I got a lot to say today. All right. It's been a news day, but I'm the biggest headline. All right. There's been some news. Tank Davis locked up, or actually an arrest warrant is out for him right now for that DV case. You know, we got Kayla Harrison pulling out of UFC 324, Sean O'Malley getting bumped up to the co-main, but I'm the headline today, boys. I'm the motherfucking headline. I'm the one getting the views, boys. Shout out to me. All right, that's enough glazing myself. Give me a second to post to my story real quick. Miata Boy with the slander is insane. Daniel Back is saying, how does a nobody YouTuber get canceled? Shit, I don't know, homie. I don't know, homie. But shout out to Daniel. Shit, this nobody's getting canceled. I'm just playing. To be honest with you guys, I ain't getting really canceled, but you know, that's the headline for the day. And a lot of people are upset about me posting this news right here. Going on my IG and officially reporting that Nick and Nate Diaz are beefing. People are not happy that I posted this. Jake Shields coming at me, and that's why I said I'm getting canceled with a question mark. Now there's a question mark there. All right? Keyword question mark. But everybody like the stream. Everybody subscribe if you're not subscribed. All right, we officially getting started, boys. Now I'm gonna have to keep my tone down a little bit, despite my excitement at the moment. But you know, we'll see how that goes. But just know I'm trying to keep my tone down. If it goes up, shit, you're in luck. If it stays down, well, just deal with it. It's late night over here. I tend to yell and keep my neighbor up late, so I'm trying to be courteous. But shit, like I said, that could only last for so long, so we'll see how that goes. But that is my intention. 5-hour stream starts now. We'll see how long the stream goes. We will see how long the stream goes. Like I said, there's not that much news today. I'm the headline. But aside from that, you know, I do have a lot to say, so let's kind of get into it. I mean, where do we start? Where do we start, boys? Where do we start? I woke up this morning. You know, I posted the news that Nick and Nate Diaz are officially beefing after Nick's release from Mexican rehab. I think we might as well just start with reading this out, all right? And real quick to acknowledge some of the boys in the chat. AD Kid, what's up, Jacob and crew? What up, AD Kid? M-Gal saying Jacob, M-Gal. Juice saying, I feel like they just trying to cover it up, and it's one of those beefs that they don't want to call a beef. It's more of a unspoken beef that they don't want to label or feed into, and now they covering. Exactly, Jew. Exactly. But listen, here's what I find funny, right? I know I just said I'm going to start reading this, but fuck it, you know? We going all over the place. I riffed, and I don't fucking stay on topic, all right? But speaking to what Jew had to say, or what is it? It's not rift, it's riff. I riff and I don't stay on topic. Anyway, what Jew's saying is completely accurate. And it's crazy because this is straight news, all right? Everybody's been wanting to know what's the status of Nick and Nate until they find out. Until I fucking come out and report on it. Now they don't want to know about it. Now they're sorry they asked, right? I'm sorry. Everybody wanted to know this. It's just not the fucking answer you were hoping it was. They're at odds. They're beefing. To be honest with you, this beef has been going on for a long time, and we all know it. We all know it. It's basically been going on, or it began when Nate fought Connor. You know, Nate went on to fight Masvidal. Nate went on to fight Leon. We all know the Diaz brothers don't like to share opponents, right? Nate belongs at 55. Nick belongs at 170. Nate does not like to fight Nick's opponents and vice versa. They stay away from that shit, right? Except, you know, Nick was absent for a long time. Nate eventually did move up to 170, and he fought Nick's fights. You know, Masvidal, Leon. You think Nick's just cool with that? Nick sits back and he's like, damn, those were my fights. So it's been going on since then. You know, you mix in the rehab and the family issues, what Nick's putting his family through right now and his mom, right? Skipping out on rehab. This is the truth. They're fucking beefing. It's exactly as Juice said it as well. They're trying to cover it up. It's one of those beefs they don't want to call a beef. It's more of an unspoken beef. They don't want to label or feed into it. But you know what? This is the news. This is the news. They're the biggest stars in the game. Till this day. Okay, till this day. Nick's fought one time in like a fucking decade, pretty much. Maybe twice in a fucking decade. All right? And he's still one of the biggest stars in the game till this day. The brothers together are a fucking dynamic duo. This is news. All right? You know, to be honest with you guys, I felt bad about posting it. I archived it for a bit. Not anymore. Not anymore. I woke up this morning. I posted it. I went through most of the day with it up. Smoked a little bit of kush before the gym. I got a little bit guilty. I'm not going to lie to you boys. I keep it a buck here. And we're telling stories today. I got a little bit guilty after smoking a little bit of kush before the gym. I said, shit, let me archive this for a little bit. Maybe it was distasteful that I did this. I come home from the gym. I eat a little bit of food. I ain't high no more. I'm showering, getting ready for the stream. And I realize I just killed my news for the day. I just put out my own damn fire, right? Archiving this shit. Fuck no. Fuck no, we're not archiving it. Fuck no, we're not archiving it. So I brought it back up, and this is what we're discussing today because Jake Shields commented he had things to say. Other members from Nick Diaz, or the Diaz camp, aka BBJ Ninja Recovery, he had stuff to say as well. So we're gonna read it all. We're gonna give voices to everybody, and on top of that, I'll have you guys know I spoke to Nick Diaz himself on the phone today. All right, maybe we can get into some of the things we discussed, but essentially, if I were to get a good grasp of it and summarize it, I think, Nick wanted me to take down the video as well that I posted the other day. What video is that? Well, let me pull it up. okay? Because I clipped off a segment from one of the streams. I think it was the Monday night stream. I clipped off a segment about Nick being released from rehab. You know, we watched one of those videos. Damn, you guys are not supposed to see my fucking YouTube or my shit right now. Let me make the screen black. What the fuck's going on? You guys don't get to see the studio like that. Come on now. All right, but you guys can just rewind it and see it, you motherfuckers. Okay, we're back here. So Nick called me today. You know, he did tell me a lot about his life and the things that have been going on. So if you guys have questions, maybe I can dive into my conversation with Nick later today to answer them. But before the conversation ended, Nick asked me to take down this video. Why did he ask me to take down this video? Well, the boys who are watching on Monday know why. Because I listened to that recording of Kayla, Martin Sano, and Martin Sano's ex-wife, where Kayla said, you know, she's going to try to have a baby with Nick and Martin as soon as Nick's out of rehab, which also prompted a call from Kayla today. So Kayla also messaged me and she went at me over this video. Okay, I stood 10 toes down with Kayla and I told her, listen, if you dispute everything I'm saying, because let's put it like this. Kayla tried to tell me that Nick released from rehab, or not Nick released from rehab, that segment in the video where I was listening to her conversation with Martin Sano and Martin Sano's ex, where she claims she's going to have a baby with Martin and Nick when Nick gets out. She tried to tell me that's not her in that video, that's AI, and it's false. And I said, perfect. Come on the show and tell us. I'm not deleting the video. You come on the platform and you prove them wrong that they're lying about you. All right? It'll all be proven eventually, but I'm not deleting it. I'm not deleting it. Come on the platform, because she was also saying, now you're going to look bad. Now you're going to look bad because you have to admit that you were wrong. And I said, no, I don't. You make me look bad on my platform live. You come on here. I'll give you a fair opportunity to tell us who's lying, what the lies are. If they're posting fake conversations about you, that should be outed in the open, right? If it's true, if it's so easy. And she said maybe she'll do it. Now, I do have unread DMs from her that I was too busy to read because I got, you know, behind on shit today. But I'll open those DMs later and see if she accepted my invite to come on, okay? But that's the situation. You know, I spoke to Nick himself today. He wanted me to take down the video. I did initially say yes. I'm going to keep it a buck. I did initially say yes. But then I re-listened to the video, and I'm like, no, this is some of my best work. Some of my best work. And I'm not going to delete the video. You guys come on and prove them wrong. Okay, that's where I'm at with it. You guys come on my platform, make me look bad if I'm lying, if I've been immature, all this stuff, right? Come on my platform, prove them wrong. But the evidence is out there. I'm reacting to everything that other people have already put out online. Okay? That's where we're at. I spoke to Kay today. I spoke to Nick on the phone himself. Okay, Nick for like 30 minutes, Kay for like 3 minutes. And Kay was telling me, you know, she's very disappointed in me. Why am I posting fake conversations of her? And I said straight up, Kay, did you not say you were going to try to have a baby with Nick and Martin when Nick gets out? And Kay was like, that wasn't me. That's AI. So what can I do with that? Right? But that's what she's claiming. But I stood 10 toes down. I straight asked her because she's calling me a liar. And I ain't nothing but a liar. Or I'm a lot of, let me put it like this. I ain't nothing but a liar. It's crazy. I'm a lot of things, but I ain't no motherfucking liar. I ain't no motherfucking liar. Okay? So anyway, that's a little bit of a tangent. I also spoke to another source. Aside from Nick, right? Aside from Kayla, aside from my source on Tuesday, I spoke to another source today. And I'll tell you guys one other thing. My biggest regret. Who wants to know what my biggest regret is, right? Is my biggest regret posting this? No, it's not. My biggest regret was one of my responses to Jake Shields where I said that I've spoke to 2 people inside the camp. Not 2 people inside the camp. Where I said I spoke to Nick and I spoke to somebody inside the camp on Nate's side. That's my biggest regret, is being specific about speaking to somebody on Nate's side. I should have just kept it simple and plain as my source, because nobody even needs to know that they're on Nick's or on Nate's side. The truth will prevail. Okay, but just know I have a source. And that's my biggest regret. It ain't even posting this. It ain't even posting this. But you know what? I'm learning, and I will learn from that. And I've already mentally noted that I won't make that mistake again. So the only regret I have in this whole process is being somewhat specific about one of my sources. That's the only thing I regret. The only thing. Jake Shields, okay? We'll get to Jake Shields. Drew is saying, have you asked Shields to come on? I have not asked Shields to come on, Drew. I have not. But I did respond to Jake. And, you know, I'll tell you guys again, I did delete, I think, 2 of my responses to Jake. One of them was just because I was being sassy, and there's no need for it. But the other one was where I think I said something like I spoke to the camp or something like that. Or I think I deleted the one where I said I spoke to Nick directly, because I don't need to be directly revealing my sources. And like I said, that's a mistake on me. That's a mistake on me, right? So I deleted that one where I said I spoke to Nick directly, because the bottom line, I have a source. And that's the bottom line. And I ain't lying. And I'm confident enough to put it out there, and the truth will prevail, like I said. And I'm even willing to have Kayla or Nick on the podcast anytime. Any fucking time. But anyway, let's go ahead and divulge into this post now, shall we? Then we can get to some nitty-gritty. HT, aka Weird One, says, hey Jay, what up HT? I'm excited, so I need to fucking slow down my speech a little bit. AD Kid says, Jacob, you kept it respectful and you haven't said anything unreasonable. Nick Diaz is a good dude. Just keep doing what you've done, maintaining a professional. I got you, AD, and I appreciate the affirmation. You know what I mean? I appreciate that, homie. Miata Boy says, we love Diaz brothers. You know, we love the Diaz brothers. This ain't no hate, and I want to do this real quick. I just want to do this real quick. Oh, the Diaz brothers are beefing. Where? I'm crying. All the crybabies out there fucking reacting to the Diaz brothers beefing. Who cares? It ain't that serious. That's where I'm at with it too, man. It ain't that serious. Everybody up in their feelings that I'm posting that the Diaz brothers are beefing. Big fucking whoop. Big fucking whoop. They're beefing, and there's levels to beef. Okay? I didn't say it was at a scale 1,100,000. I said that they're beefing. Brothers fucking argue. Okay? So everybody go cry. Go cry. Oh, man, the Diaz brothers are beefing. I can't believe you would announce something like that. Where? Who gives a fuck? They're fucking beefing. Who gives a fuck? Straight the fuck up. I just had to do that for the one time. I had to do that for the one time. Okay? When the Diaz brothers are beefing. When? Oh my God, why would you tell people that? Who gives a fuck, bro? Who gives a fuck? All you sensitive motherfuckers out there, who cares? They're brothers beefing. All right? So let's read the post real quick. What up, Juice Man? My boys all vouching for me in the chat for the one time. I just had to do that for the one time, Juice Man. For the one time, all right? I appreciate all the boys vouching for me right now too. But I'm gonna read this post, and then I'll read some chats, okay? So here's how it goes. And I'm trying to fucking watch my voice, but as you guys can tell, it's fucking difficult. Anyways, Nick Diaz and Nate Diaz are officially beefing after Nick's release from Mexican rehab. Here's the details. Okay, I told you guys last night, but actually I've refined the details because even I had a couple things mixed up. And when I do mix things up, I will come on here and correct it. So hear me out, because just a few words, you know, were misspoken. But everything was pretty much accurate. I just, you know, when I said Nick was going to go to rehab in San Diego, that wasn't true. Nick was actually going to get transported to not a halfway house, a sober living house in San Diego. Okay, that's the truth. And Nick had basically finished his rehab after a whole year, and that was the next step, to go to not a halfway house again, my bad, a sober living home in Mexico or California. That was the big debate. And Nick wanted to do California because it's like at will, versus in Mexico, it's not at will because it's not the same laws over there. So that's the one thing I misspoke about last night, but it's nothing crazy. So anyway, let me read this to you. Nick and Nate Diaz are officially beefing after Nick left a sober living facility in San Diego following his release from rehab in Mexico and chose to elope to Las Vegas to marry his girlfriend and now wife, Kayla Ramos. In short, the Diaz brothers are beefing over two things. One, rehab. Nick is upset that Nate didn't bail him out of rehab sooner and let him stay in there for over a year. Nate is upset Nick is going against his family's wishes and skipped out on sober living in San Diego after his release from rehab in Mexico. Okay, number two, they're beefing over the gym. Nick is upset that Nate took over his gym and his students, and let me read that again. Nick is upset that Nate took over his gym and his students in his absence and even renamed the gym Nate Diaz Academy. Nate feels as though he's held it down for everyone and kept the business alive in Nick's absence. And, you know, after hearing so much bullshit in the comments, I just had to add this in. Everyone who thinks I'm lying, one, I'm the first person to report Nick married Kayla, and two, I'm the first person to report Nick skipped out of a sober living facility in San Diego after his release from rehab in Mexico. Someone refute these claims, please. You can't. You can't. And yeah, just because I told two truths doesn't exactly guarantee I'm telling the truth here, but come the fuck on, boys. I'm basically it basically guarantees it. It basically guarantees it. Why the fuck would I stretch out a lie? I already got all the information. Okay? And that's why I know that they're beefing. So yeah, you know what I mean? I've been honest about all this stuff. It's all been true. So why the fuck would I be lying about this? Why the fuck would I? Someone responds back with this fucking gif. I guess, bro. Shit. You fucking guess because you got nothing to say, homie. You got nothing to say. But this is where I'm getting canceled, right? So somebody likes to go, you are pathetic. This is desperate for views. Where I'm from, people like you get slapped. Shit, come try it, homie. Come try it, homie. Come try it, homie. You and your blurry fucking profile pic that's probably not even you. Come try it. Come try it, homie. You come slap me, homie. You come do it. And then this guy, that's why I said what I said a second ago, because this guy says, none of what you just said proves anything as fact. You just said, I'm not lying because I said other stuff in the past. Yeah, I'm not lying because I've been honest in the past. And my reputation will supersede me. Cite your sources. I'm the source, homie. I'm the source. Haha, I'm the source. I'm the source, motherfuckers. I'm the source. Cite your motherfucking sources. Me. I'm the motherfucking source. All right. Stevie Money. This is the same chick that was squatting in Nick's house with another man, the same house that was up for auction because Caesar never paid the property taxes. All true. Also, Nate is running the gym, but while Nick's been doing whatever, the gym was in shambles and a lot of people getting fed up with going there and the doors being locked when they should have been having classes. Nate finally stepped up and took over. I know this for a fact. Nick has literally done nothing to do with that gym for a long time now. Nick has literally had nothing to do with that gym for a long time now. The girl he married is literally the chick they all wanted him to leave. Nick did leave Mexico early. Instead of facing his problems back home, he went straight to Vegas. You feel me, boys? The real always fucking stands out, okay? The real always stands out. Look at these crybabies again. This is why I was doing that enactment earlier where it's like, oh my God, it's so bad. I can't believe you posted the Diaz brothers are beefing. You're so mean. You're so insensitive. You're so weird for posting this. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. You guys all wanted to know about it until you found out the news you didn't want to hear. So suck my dick. Honestly, suck my dick. How about that? Let's take it there. Suck my motherfucking dick. Okay? But this guy going, this is a weird post, like not even relevant, bro. Oh, it's totally relevant. Nick just got out of rehab this week. To anything at all, just delete it. At this point, nah. Maybe I did when I fucking smoked a little bit of kush, but I'm back standing 10 toes down, okay? I hope you guys like that little bit of a riff I had about smoking the kush and deleting it because I got paranoid. I figured I'd share that with you boys. Like I say, I got nothing to hide. Nothing at all. Diamond Card West, you were just claiming I was the first to. Now you try to pass the smoke to Jacob Castro after the community is getting on you. Shit, I'm both. I'm Perry Punch. I'm Jacob Castro, Diamonds. Get with the motherfucking program, homie. I am Perry Punch. I am Jacob Castro. We are Perry Punch. We are Jacob Castro. Okay, I don't mean to talk about myself in the third person like that. In fact, I find it cringe, so I'm going to refrain from doing that. But I'm sure you guys get why I had to do that just now. Okay. But Diamond Cards West clearly isn't with the program, and he needs to be soon. But you know what I love? You know what I love? I love that my name's getting out there. My name's getting out there, boys. And the headline today is getting it out there again. All right. They will soon all know that we are me. All right. I'm not going to keep talking in the third person. But okay, so here's Jake Shields, right? Jake Shields says, why are you making up bullshit? I was with Nick yesterday and talked to Nate today. So I actually responded to another person on the comments, and I was like, let's see if I can read the comment where I deleted my comment. I shouldn't have deleted shit. But I basically said that Jake didn't call anything out. He simply said he spoke to Nick and talked to Nate and insinuated I'm lying without giving any concrete details to refute my claims, right? So Jake Shields trying to like be super vague and make it seem like I'm lying. Shit. Prove me wrong, homie. Prove me wrong, because I spit nothing but facts in the post, in the caption, and you know it, Jake Shields. I'm speaking directly to you. Prove me wrong, homie. Prove me wrong, motherfucker. All right? Prove me the fuck wrong. Because I don't appreciate you coming on here acting like I'm lying when I also spoke to Nick today. So you spoke to Nick today. I spoke to Nick today. You seem to be calling me a liar. All right? You seem to be calling me a liar. But I spoke to Nick today. We both spoke to Nick today. You're trying to claim that they're not beefing. I think the only liar here is you, homie. I'm standing 10 toes down. They're motherfucking beefing. So you're telling me Nate Diaz isn't avoiding talking to his brother right now. You're telling me that, Jake Shields, right? You're telling me Nate isn't avoiding talking to his brother right now? You're telling me Nick isn't mad that his brother didn't bail his ass out and he's confused as to why his brother doesn't want to answer his phone calls right now? Because I got more details. Nate didn't even want to talk to Nick in rehab. Nick was saying, "Where's my brother? Let me talk to my brother." Guess what? His brother doesn't want to talk to him. I'll give you guys the reason I was told, because his brother doesn't want to get manipulated by Nick. Because Nick is a master manipulator, according to the source that gave me more information today. So Nate doesn't even want to talk to Nick. Nate's been rejecting Nick's calls or advances at speaking to him, right? Nate has been ignoring Oh my God. Nate has been ignoring Nick's advances at speaking to him. I want to be clear about that. Okay? So none of that's true, right, Jake? None of that's true? The brothers can talk right now like homies. It's all good. Nah, homie, it's not. You're out here doing damage control, making yourself look bad, ruining your own credibility. Like I said, the only liar here, Jake, I'm not saying that you're necessarily lying, but you're insinuating that I'm lying. And by you insinuating that I'm lying, you're more untruthful than me. You're more untruthful than me. And who has more to gain from this? Because everyone wants to act like this Instagram post makes me money. Guys, this Instagram post made me $0 motherfucking dollars. In fact, this probably pissed off Nick and Nate more than anything. Nate probably wants to slap me, even though it's not that big of a deal in my opinion. But I made no money off this post. Now, do I make money off the YouTube video? Fuck yeah, I do. Fuck yeah, I do. And that's why I'm definitely not taking this one down. Okay? But I ain't making no money off this post. Okay, I am making no money off this post, and I don't know why I necessarily brought that up. Oh, because this is what I was going to say. Who has more to gain? Since I have no money to make off of this post, right, I'm completely unbiased. I'm just straight up putting this out there. In fact, I've been speaking to Nick. Nick might not want to speak to me anymore, right, after I posted this, right? I still took the risk and posted it. I'm literally shooting myself in the foot. Jake Shields has everything to gain by keeping the peace between the Diaz brothers. Not that he has personal gain, but you guys should get it. He's in camp with them. He's close with them. Of course, he is not a reliable source. He's a biased source. Why the fuck would he admit that they're beefing? He's friends with them. Why would he speak negative about them? He hasn't said one negative thing about Nick since he got out of rehab, and I've been giving you guys all the fucking drama. You haven't heard that from Jake. Jake's acting like everything's perfect with Nick, when the truth is there's a lot of bullshit going on behind the scenes, even if Nick is sober. Even if Nick is trying to get healthy, his family is in shambles right now. He skipped out of sober living in San Diego. They don't want him to be with Kay. He went and married Kay. Okay? I'm the one telling you this. Jake can't tell you this. Because why? He's close to Nick. He's close to Nate. He got to go answer for it if it goes public, if he announces it. Okay? Jake is over here doing damage control once again, and he has more reasons to lie than I do. I got no reasons to fucking lie. And yeah, let's put this out there. Jake Shields gave Derek Moneyberg a black belt. I want to comment that to him right now. I'm going to control my fucking sass and not do it. But Jake Shields gave Derek Moneyberg a black belt. Who the fuck are you guys going to believe? Me or Jake Shields? Me or motherfucking Jake Shields? Okay? Jake Shields also clout chasing with Neon. Okay, like I told you guys, I'm going to say it again. Nate Diaz didn't speak to Neon and invite Neon to his fucking gym. Jake Shields did that because Jake Shields is the ultimate clout chaser. That's why Jake Shields is clout chasing off Nick as soon as he gets out of rehab. As soon as he gets out of rehab, cameras on Nick. Nick ain't in the best condition, and Jake's all he's focused on is making money off Nick because Jake's lost his damn mind low key. Low key. You can tell with Jake. You can tell with Jake. You can tell the shit he goes on and fucking riffs about. Some of it's accurate, but some of it's just fucking annoying to listen to. And I don't got no specific details. I'm just a feel guy. I'm just a feel guy, and I don't feel right about Jake Shields. Something about Jake Shields makes my skin crawl. Maybe it's that he gave fucking Derek Moneyberg a black belt. Maybe it's because he's sticking a camera in Nick's face fucking constantly ever since he got out of rehab, posting him up on social media, trying to make $1 off him, posting a 27 fucking minute training video of Nick Diaz on his YouTube a few hours ago. Jake Shields is the one trying to make $1 off of Nick. I mean, shit. I'm doing my job. This is my job. A byproduct of doing my job is making fucking money. I hope everybody realizes that too. Just because I make money by speaking about interesting topics, that's my motherfucking job. Okay? Jake Shields' job ain't being a YouTuber. It ain't being a YouTuber. It's fucking coaching, isn't it? It's being Derek Moneyberg's coach. So why the fuck is he over here putting a camera in Nick's face the second he gets out of and ditches sober living in San Diego against his family's wishes, over here enabling his ass? Probably not enabling. I'm not going to go that far. Luckily, Jake is around him, and hopefully he's a good mind, right, around Nick, keeping him on the straight and narrow because, you know, people are in fear that Kayla and Martin will not do that for Nick. So maybe Jake Shields is the guy to do that, but he's still putting a camera in front of his face. He's still posting him on his YouTube channel. He's still attempting to make money off this dude because of the situation he's in. He knows it's going to get him views and numbers because Nick just got out of rehab. He knows it too. So don't fucking come at me, Mr. Jake Shields, and respond to me now. Respond to me now. Because I did respond to you. And I said, I've been speaking with the camp and I'm not making anything up. I think you know that. Okay? I also said, I also spoke with Nick today directly, and he confirmed with me that he's not happy with Nate. And I deleted that because I don't need to be so fucking specific. And this is the thing I regret right here, where I say I spoke with the camp. I shouldn't have even said I spoke with the camp, because now Jake's going to go back and be like, who in the camp is speaking to this guy? Who the fuck in the camp is speaking to this guy? Well, shit, you're going to have to find multiple moles, homie. Shit, because who knows who it is? It could be everybody. It could be fucking everybody. But anyway, that's the only thing I regret. That's the only thing I regret. But let's keep reading some comments, shall we? So yeah, people are instantly low-key believing Jake. Like, how can they beef? I thought they were vegan. I mean, that's some weird shit. So yeah, this person, because that's how this bullshit page gets paid, clicks and views from scams and lies. Okay. F him up, Jake. Nick and sober living then, just because you spoke to both doesn't negate literally anything stated here. Bro, I talked to both of them, so this makes this all not true. Come on, bro. Exactly. I love it when people can read through the fucking bullshit. And shout out to Nathan TLB for reading through the bullshit, calling out Jake. Just because you talked to Nick and Nate doesn't fucking refute anything I said. Nothing I said. Everything I said is factual. Come at me, homie. I'm welcoming it. Prove me the fuck wrong. Jake, you want to come on my show too and prove me wrong and try to make me look like an asshole? It ain't finna fucking happen. It ain't finna happen. It ain't finna happen. It ain't finna happen. K, open invite to come on my show. Nick, open invite to come on my show. The only thing that can make me look like an asshole is Nick, because Nick will probably go after me for gossiping about his fucking personal business. And okay. Come on here and call me an asshole for gossiping about your personal business. I welcome it. Okay. But Jake Shields and Kay, they could never make me look like an asshole. They can try. And, you know, it's an open invitation. So, yeah, somebody saying, you going to answer, tagging me? Yeah, bro, I answered like with 3 comments, but I deleted 2 of them. Dinell saying, thanks for calling out the BS, Jakey. You guys are so dumb because Jake Shields gave Derek Moneyberg a black belt, and I would never do something like that. So, I mean, anyone believing Jake just shows your lack of intelligence, but that's okay. This person saying they won't pin this comment too because Jake is fucking insinuating bullshit. I'm the truth. I'm the fucking truth, not Jake. So Jake ain't getting pinned for fucking coming on my page and lying. Why the fuck would I pin it? Why the fuck would I do something like that? I'm glad you came here and called out bullshit. It ain't bullshit. It ain't bullshit. And we all know that. We all fucking know it. Thanks for keeping it real, Jake Shields. I always liked you. No, you don't, because he gave Derek Moneyberg a black belt. You guys are all just forgetting about that. And then someone saying, Perry Punch, bro, this is awesome, LOL. I mean, call it what you want to call it. This person saying, tagging me, saying, yeah, I think I'll believe the training partner of the Diaz brothers and the one that doesn't have likes slash followers to gain from this. I already explained to you why I'm less compromised than fucking Jake. Why would Jake confirm it? The brothers would get on his ass in an instant. Nick is already on my ass for posting about him. Okay? He sees Jake in person. It would be 10 times worse. Calling me a media dork. Okay, I mean, call me what you want to fucking call me. You're in here commenting, boosting the algorithm. Shout out to you. Thanks for always looking out for Nick, this woman. And then Certified Stargazer. Perry Punch never lies. Watch it, bud. So we got some supporters too. You feel me? Here's BBJ Ninja Recovery. Not Nate beefing, or sorry, BBJ Ninja Recovery says Nate's not beefing with Nick. Keyword here. Keyword here. Notice how BBJ Ninja Recovery isn't calling me a liar. Okay, it takes fucking real brains to understand some of these things. Don't be a bird brain, a fucking half brain cell, and just like not understand what people are actually trying to say. Okay, this is what BBJ Ninja Recovery is saying. Keyword: Nate isn't beefing with Nick. Okay, Nate is focused on his family. What Nick does is on Nick. Nate minding his own family first. Don't spread. There's beef with Nick and Nate. So he's simply telling me don't spread it. He's not saying don't spread lies that Nick and Nate are beefing, because they are beefing and he knows it and he knows I'm not lying. Okay? But he's saying don't fucking spread that there's beef in the first place. And you know what? I appreciate Jose for coming on here, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I've already explained why I'm going to stand 10 toes down, because I don't think it's that big of a deal and everybody's fucking crying and getting in their feelings because it's the Diaz brothers. And who gives a fuck, bro? Like Jose goes on to say, all brothers fight. Nate is respectful of what Nick decides to do with his life. Nate wants Nick to do what Nick wants to do with his life. Okay, but at the end of the day, no matter what BBJ Ninja Recovery wants to say, they're beefing. Okay, Nate would not hop on a phone call with Nick right now. Nate was avoiding speaking to Nick while he was in rehab. Not out of anger, but because, you know, they're low-key beefing. And there are levels to beef. I'm not telling you guys they hate each other, right? Although, you know, they could come to blows when they see each other. But guess what? That's because they're brothers. That's because they're fighters. That's because they're from fucking Stockton. But nobody wants to keep all that in mind when I'm speaking, and that's fine, right? That's fine that you guys don't want to do that, and if you guys forget to do that, but that's why, bro. They're fighters. They're from Stockton. This is how it goes with them. They're messy. Look at the family fucking drama unfolding as we speak. They're messy. Of course they could potentially fight. Of course they could. This is the Diaz brothers we're talking about. But everybody gets so up in their feelings about the Diaz brothers, they forget all this stuff. This ain't far-fetched shit that Nick and Nate could fight over nothing. Okay, that would be normal shit for them. But guess what? They're still beefing over something. They're still beefing over something. There's levels to it. All right? But Nate wouldn't hop on a phone call with Nick as we speak. Nate is not happy with Nick at all at the moment because of his life choices. Sure, you know, he wants Nick to be happy, but he's not in support of what Nick's going through. Somebody saying, cousin just got out and went right back to the streets. Literally hard to explain the pain. I know Nate going through. Cousin just got out and went right back to the streets. Literally hard to explain the pain. I know Nate's going through. How do you help someone you love unconditionally that don't want it? And that's why they're beefing. That's why they're beefing. All right? Because Nate loves Nick unconditionally, but Nick doesn't want the help. And you know what? He's putting his mom through a lot of stress. Nick is putting his mom through a lot of stress through all this. Respect family business. Wicked song choice, my man, because the song choice I put was Drug Addiction by NBA Youngboy. Someone saying that's not beef, that's family drama. Exactly. Exactly. This is none of our business. I mean, everybody wants to know about it. Let them handle their business. No need to post this shit. I posted it. I posted it. And that's it. The comments are starting to repeat now. AD Kid says, Jacob, best to take the high road on Jake Shields because you have a long road ahead into MMA reporting and streaming. The truth will come out, and take the high road may be best. I mean, what would the high road be? Because at the end of the day, AD Kid, something you have to realize is that if I don't address it, that becomes the narrative. As you could tell, right? Jake's comment, because he's more famous than me, right? And because he's associated with the Diaz brothers, instantly starts to discredit what I'm saying. So I do have to refute that, because if I don't refute it, it becomes the narrative that Jake is all of a sudden, put me in my place. And Jake didn't put me in my place. Jake is completely wrong. So there's really no high road to take. Someone came onto the platform, dropping lies in the comments, trying to do damage control. And it is what it is, I don't personally, AD Kid, I love you, but I'm gonna disagree. I don't think there's any high road to take. You know, the whole thing about a long road in the MMA reporting and streaming, I get it, but shit, we're already here, bro. We're already here. We're already in the mix. You feel me? So the long road ahead is like, I'm already in the mix. I'm here talking to Nick. I'm here talking to members from the whole fucking squad. Okay. We got other interviews. We got good high-level guests coming on. We got more high-level guests that we can get on in the future. So we're already in the mix. I'm not I'm not afraid of no one shooting me in the foot. I'm not shooting myself in the foot. I mean, we're in the mix. We are completely in the mix. And this is the other thing, right? Because talking about a high road. When I wasn't in the mix, when I wasn't discussing stuff like this, when I wasn't fucking going with some controversial stuff out of fear of people getting upset and hurting people's feelings. Guess what? That's when Nick wouldn't respond to my fucking, messages and shit like that. When I was all on my supporting shit, when I was all about posting positivity, oh, Nick, you're one of the greatest fighters of all time. I'd love to get an interview with you. You think that's going to get me anywhere? In a long road of trying to be an MMA reporter? No, it's not. They never fucking respond to it. Okay? The only time I got myself in the mix is when I fucking started putting myself in the mix. And it's not by being this goody two-shoe, this person who supports everybody and is toxically fucking positive. No, it's speaking the fucking truth and the real and saying, you know what? I'm not going to bite my tongue so I can get a fucking opportunity from another man in the future. I'm going to fucking say everything on my platform. And ever since I've done that, all these people who didn't want to speak to me before want to speak to me now. Okay? And that's just how that shit goes. So, I would have never got Kay on here. You think I would have ever been able to speak to Kay unless I was reacting to this stuff on my live stream? Because that's how she came upon me. She saw me reacting with Nick in the thumbnail. She came in the live stream and started fucking commenting in here. If I was too scared to fucking be controversial, she would have never clicked on the thumbnail. Because like I said, positivity doesn't sell shit. So, I'm not shooting myself in the foot by any means. In fact, like I said, even archiving the post, even archiving the post was a bad move on my end. You know what I mean? Think about this. If I go ahead and continue to challenge Jake and say, nah, Jake, you're the liar. I'm not the liar. The only person being dishonest is you. That's the truth, though. I ain't fucking lying about that. That's the truth. Okay? Now Jake's actually challenged. Now Jake will most likely, potentially, want to come on the podcast because he wants to maybe, try to make me look bad for making him look bad. Now, what do you think's going to happen if I go, oh, Jake, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to upset anybody, but this is just the truth, and I'm just an innocent journalist reporting the truth, and I don't want to hurt anybody or make anybody upset, right? But maybe could I please potentially have you on my podcast because I'm so sorry. I'm so sad and sorry. Can I please have you on my podcast? Beg you for an opportunity and be fake while I'm at it? You think he's going to come on to that? Nah, bro. Nah, bro. It ain't how the game works. You feel me? It ain't how the game works. It's a fucking, you gotta have thick skin in this game. All right? And just because these guys are fighters, just because these guys are more established than me, I ain't scary. I ain't scary. But AD Kid, I know your heart's in the right place, homie. So don't get me wrong, AD Kid. I know your heart's in the right place, and I respect it, AD Kid. But, you know, sometimes, right, from my position, I'll share my perspective so you can kind of get where I'm coming from. Because best believe I got to have thick skin. I got Kayla calling me today, right? I got Jake Shields coming at me today. Kayla fucking threatening to fucking lawsuits and all this stuff. I got Jake Shields trying to call me a liar. I got Nick calling me, asking me to take down a video on YouTube, right? You got to have thick skin in this game. And that's, you know, my perspective on this whole thing. You feel me? If I were to appease everybody, right? So even on the, I don't mean to keep using AD Kid's comment as the example, but like I just said, the video I posted about Nick is over 1,000 views now, right? It's blowing up. It's blowing up. Now it's at 1.3K views. I have a feeling this is going to get a lot of views because it's good journalism. It's good investigating. Nobody else has DMs from Nick that they could share but me. I'm the only one. This is exclusive, right? Sorry, this is the video right here, released from rehab, 1K views. Anyway, what I was getting to is Nick asked me to take this down, right? Oh, so if I want to appease Nick, I should take it down, right? But Nick's not going to do anything for me, bro. Nick's not going to do anything for me. I know he's saying he's going to come on my pod, but I'm doubtful, bro. I'm doubtful. And so I'm keeping it up. I'm keeping it up, and it's just how it goes. If anything, like I said before, I got more chances of having Nick come on my podcast by keeping it up than taking it down. Because that's why I said, I'm going to keep this content up. You guys come on and prove it wrong. Don't make me take it down, right? Because it's alleged lies. Come on here and refute it. The content is staying up. You have an open invitation to come on here and refute it. The content is staying up. Okay? So if I'm appeasing everybody, it works in my least fucking best interest. I mean, truthfully, it's crazy to say, but I just really want to like almost hammer that into you guys. I've had so much bullshit going on today, right? And all of it is they're just asking me to put out the fire, right? And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm the headline today. I'm fucking swimming in all of this. Okay? I live in the fucking fire. I live in the flames. I'm not scary. I'm not scary. Bring it on. Bring it all on to me. I'm built for this. I'm built for this. All right? I ain't scary. Whoever not built for this, sucks for you. Sucks for you, but I'm built for this. I ain't fucking scary. 10 toes down. Asking me to take down content today. Calling me a liar. Here I am showing my face. Popping on stream. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Straight the fuck up. Straight the fuck up. LOL, stand your base. I'm standing my motherfucking base. Juice Man saying Orange County's finest. I mean, shit. I appreciate it, Juice Man. And just so we know, because people want to think I'm a clout chaser, believe me, if I was like a crazy clout chaser, there's more information. There's more information that I got on this whole thing that I won't even dive into. Okay, but it's been out there. It's been already posted online and shit like that, but I got it confirmed with other sources. By the way, I'll give you guys a quick story. I'll give you guys a quick story with 10 toes. Straight up, Dale J. I'm here with 10 toes, showing my face. I ain't scary. I'm right here. I'm built for it. But anyway, I asked Nick how he got drugged and how he ended up in this Mexican rehab. And Nick was telling me that like Martin drove him to his cousin Ruben or something like that. And Nick accuses Ruben of drugging him through a milkshake. So Nick says that they gave him a milkshake and then fucking he got drugged through the milkshake, woke up in Mexican rehab. That's what Nick said. I was like, damn, bro, they got you with the fucking milkshake? That's crazy. That's crazy. They drugged you with the fucking milkshake, bro. But, you know, my other sources are saying Martin Sano drugged Nick. So who the fuck knows? But it seems like Nick is always going to have Martin's back, and he's not really going to say negative things about him. And anything that Martin did negative or Kayla did negative, it gets put on Ruben, right? It gets put on Ruben, his cousin, and his mom. Truthfully. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. That's what it seems like to me. Sounds like a strong cocktail, LOL. Yeah. I thought you guys would want to know that. He said he got drugged by a milkshake. Yeah, Nick said he got drugged by a milkshake. Crazy work, right? They fucking used a milkshake to drug him. But no, I mean, like I said last night too, essentially, you know, what's crazy? They literally drug Nick Diaz, Fidel Castro style. Shout out Dylan. But no, basically, I mean, yeah, long story short, I'm going to say it again just for like shits and gigs at this point. But long story short, you know, per sources, right? You're not going to hear this from Nick necessarily, but per sources, you know, Kayla and Martin Sano, along with Nick's close family, right, and relatives, they were all on board with getting Nick into rehab. Everybody was on board. Okay. Everybody was on board. There's a video that went around of Nick in psychosis. Okay. I've seen it with my own two eyes. Strawberry chocolate. Shit, Jew, I forgot to ask. Hell of a milkshake. Sketchy milkshake on the loose. I knew that was going to get you boys going. I literally told Nick, I was like, damn, bro, they got you with the motherfucking milkshake? He's like, yeah, bro. The last thing I remember was waking up with the door closing in Mexican rehab. And I'm like, damn, bro. But anyway, if I got any more funny details from Nick, I'll be sure to share it with you guys. But anyway, what was I talking about? If anyone can remember, drop it in the chat. I'm going to try to like go back in my memory bank real quick. I don't think I can. I think I got to rewind my stream. Damn, my phone died. Someone best remind me what I was talking about because my phone's dead. What was I talking about? Anybody remember? I know somebody got to remember, right? I know. How funny is that? I fucking straight got distracted on the spot. I think I was on something good, so I don't necessarily want to just move on from that because I think I was speaking some good shit. No one remember? We're going to have to wait for my phone to turn on. Nothing pisses me off more than forgetting what I said. Oh, something about Nick's family being all on board. That's right. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. I have a TBI. I can't remember either. Shout out to Tino. Hopefully it heals up soon, homie. But yes, thank you, Juice Man. Something about Nick's family being all on board. That's right. So Kayla and Martin Santa were all on board, right? With Nick's family as well. And Nate, even though, side note, Nate hates the fuck out of Martin Sano. Nate really does hate the fuck out of Martin Sano. They not cool at all. That's another fact. If Nate ain't fucking beefing with Nick, which he is, low key, all right, Nick fucking for sure hates Martin Sano. All right. But anyway, Kayla and Martin were on board with getting Nick into rehab. The only time they switched up, and to the point where Martin was working with fucking Ruben, Nick's cousin, who Nick fucking hates for keeping him in there for so long. So Martin and Ruben were cool, right? The only time all the shit hit the fan, and also, you know, Kayla and Nick's family were cool, right? Nick's family were saying, you know, Kayla trying to call her, trying to get her, invite her to come down to the rehab to see Nick as emotional support, right? They were all cool. They all wanted him in rehab. The only time all this changed was when Nick started to fucking get a clear head and he started asking to get Kayla and Martin out of his home. Okay, as soon as Nick started asking for Kayla and Martin to get out of his home and giving, you know, signing affidavits, giving permission to Squatter Squad to get them out, right? Restraining orders, all this type of stuff. And they did get kicked out eventually and they were on the street. That's when everything changed. And Kayla and Martin didn't want Nick in rehab anymore. Okay, but they initially wanted him in rehab. They initially wanted him in rehab. The only time it changed is when Nick got a clear head. He said he doesn't want to be around them anymore. They started getting kicked out of his house. Then Kayla comes back to Nick And she starts telling him, how homeless she is. That's why you hear Nick being like, they had my girl kicked out on the street, because she came back to Nick with a sob story, even though Nick was the one who wanted it to happen anyway. But he has a soft spot for Kayla. So when Kayla started detailing everything that was going down, Nick got manipulated, and Nick started turning on Ruben, who was just doing everything Nick asked. Okay? Ruben was just doing everything Nick asked. Nick decides to turn on him when Kayla comes to him with the sob story after his whole family and him got Kayla and Martin kicked out of his house. Okay? On top of that, because I did ask specifically, I'm like, but Nick was still sober, right? He didn't relapse on drugs in the rehab facility, right? He was still sober. My source tells me, yes, he was still sober in the facility. He never relapsed once. I said, okay, well then if he's still sober, how the fuck does Kayla manipulate him to switch sides all of a sudden if he didn't relapse and he's still in the right frame of mind? They tell me, okay, allegedly, because Kayla was probably going to see this. But you know what? Then come on the fucking podcast and address it, because all this stuff is public information. This ain't even stuff I'm putting out there. These are also posts that have been put out there in the past, but have been deleted. Okay, go read my comments on my last video that I posted. You're going to see some stuff on there. Okay, you're going to see some stuff on there. I'm not even going to tease it because I really don't want you guys to see it. But why don't you guys go over to my fucking last video I posted, read those comments. You're going to find one shocking comment in particular. Okay? So there's a lot of stuff that's been out. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on. So me talking about what I'm about to say is when I asked the family, how did Kayla get Nick to change his mind just by speaking to him if he didn't relapse and he was still in a clear state of mind, a clear head? They say she's blackmailing him. They say she's blackmailing him. Okay? They say she's blackmailing him. So that, I don't know if it's true or not. That's allegedly. But that would make sense to me as to how the fuck you change this guy's mind when he's still sober, right? Because he got sober, he got a clear head, and he wanted her out. He remained sober, having a clear head. The only thing that changed is she started coming around and talking to him. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but when the family was calling her, asking her to come around, she didn't want to come around. She didn't want to answer the calls. She wasn't showing up to the rehab, according to my source. Okay? The only time she started coming back around is when, and that's also what prompted Nick to be like, I don't even want them here anymore. They don't even come here and support me probably. Now I'm filling in the blanks. But I assume that's why Nick got to the point where he's like, I don't even want her here anymore. She doesn't come and see me. I have people telling me that she's not answering calls to be put on the line with me. She won't visit me. Kick them the fuck out. As soon as they kick her the fuck out, right, Kayla comes back. It's the same thing I was telling you guys. When you do everything right, according to the book, nobody fucking listening to you. Nobody want to be around you. The second you get messy with them and you start fucking putting your foot down, right, they come back. They start crawling. The same people who didn't want to talk to you before want to talk to you now. Okay, it happened with fucking Nick too. Nick's girl was ignoring him while he was in rehab because she was over him. She wanted him in there in the first place. Nick said, you know what, fuck it. These people don't even care about me. They don't even want to talk to me. I'm stuck in here fucking dying. Get him out of my fucking house. Cousin Ruben gets him out of his house. Mom Melissa gets him out of his house. Here comes Kayla. Here comes Kayla. Okay? Here comes Kayla. Now Nick's been ignored by his girl for months. Heartbroken. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. He's been ignored by his girl for months. Heartbroken. Okay? She finally comes around. He's easily manipulated. Does it not make sense to you? He's easily manipulated because it's love. She pulling on his heartstrings. He's just happy she's finally responding to him. He's so damn lonely. He starts mistaking all of her fucking advances for true love, when really she's only manipulating him because he got her kicked out of the house. Boom, he's back on Kayla's side. Boom, now Ruben's a big deal. Ruben's a bad guy. Ruben made him sign all this paperwork against his will. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now, boys. Zan Shake. The Shake is too funny. The Shake is too funny. No, you saying Ruben is a great guy. No, you. What do you got to say about everything I'm saying, homie? No, you. What you got to say about everything I'm saying? And here's the other thing I'll say, because I don't think I clearly stated it last night. This whole drug test thing is one of the biggest thing. I got a couple things to say now. This whole drug test thing is one of the biggest things, the biggest discrepancies between everybody. And that's why I told you guys last night too. Nick brings up the drug test without me asking about it. My sources bring up the drug tests without me asking about it. And the reason why is because they're debating this shit inside the camp and it's coming out. It's coming out, right? It's one of the big debates in the camp. And that's the first thing they're telling people who are seeking information like myself. So Nick claims he was never drug tested in Mexican rehab. They never tested his piss. They never took his blood. He says he woke up. This is from Nick's mouth. He says Nick woke up. He didn't have pricks in his arm. He never pissed for them. He swears he never pissed in a cup for them. They never put pricks in his arm. My source tells me, my sources now tell me, multiple sources, not just one anymore. My other sources tell me Nick tested positive for everything. The drug test is real. Right. And essentially, you know, that's why Nick's family wanted him in there, because they believe the drug test. And that's why Nick is so mad at his family, because he's like, the drug test isn't real. Why are you guys believing this bullshit? Right. So that's one of the messy things about this situation too. Nick doesn't want to accept that his drug test is real. Maybe it's not real. Who am I to say it's real or fake? Right? But Nick is denying that his drug test is real. His family is choosing to believe the rehab's drug test that they provided him, right? And guess who's also believing in the drug test? Nate. That's why Nate wants Nick in rehab, because Nate's like, look, this is proof you're on drugs, bro. Of course you need to be in rehab. You failed the drug test. And then Nick will come to you and say, I didn't fail the drug test. They're making that up. There was no pricks in my arm. I never pissed for them. Do you guys see how everything is just a deny from Nick, and his family brings up these claims and they choose to believe in them? That's the common denominator here. The other thing that I have not mentioned to you guys yet is the settlement check, right? The settlement check. Nick is supposed to get a settlement check very soon from the UFC antitrust lawsuit. Very soon he's expected to get that check. You guys would be fools to think that people in his family, I'm going to say everybody, people in his family, Kay and Martin Sano, you would be fools to think that people aren't plotting to get that damn check. Okay? That they don't know that that check is coming. That check should have already been here soon, right? It should have already somewhat been here, but word on the street, according to my source, Nick Diaz didn't sign off on like his IRS tax form. So they didn't have a way to send it over to him because he didn't sign off on some type of form, right? To claim, you know, his status as a tax-paying citizen, so to speak. So it got delayed because he didn't fill out his form. That's why Nick hasn't got the check yet, but the check is coming. The check is coming. All right? And that's another reason why. You know, Nick feels, because Nick knows his check is coming. So here's the thing. Again, it's just this balance of sides. It's this balance of sides, because Nick feels like his family's keeping him in rehab because they want to wait for his check to come in the mail so they can cash it and take all of his money. That's how Nick feels. That's what Nick told me today. My sources tell me, you know, we got this check coming in the mail. Not we, but Nick has a check coming in the mail. And that's why Kayla and Martin are manipulating him, trying to stay close to him, because they're going to try to get that check. They're going to do something like Nick doesn't have bank accounts. So Nick's going to sign the check over to her in hopes that she gives him the cash for it. And he's going to get fucked over. But that's the other side of the story, is that Nick feels like his family wanted to keep him in rehab so that they could let me put it like this. Nick believes his family wanted to keep him in rehab long enough so the check could come and they could cash it. The family feels the exact opposite. They feel like they're looking out for Nick's best interest with that check. They feel like Kayla and Martin are scheming to get their hands on that check. So everybody understand right now, right? Nick Diaz has a settlement check coming in from the UFC antitrust lawsuit. Nick Diaz also fought Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva got one of the biggest fucking settlements on that fucking lawsuit. In fact, he got the biggest. Okay, I forget the number, but Anderson Silva got the biggest settlement out of that lawsuit. A lot of that money came from that fight with Nick Diaz, probably. Okay, not to mention all the other fights Nick Diaz had within the promotion. So Nick Diaz has a hefty lump sum coming his way. Okay, a hefty lump sum coming his way. And best believe people are scheming for it. Whether it's Nick's family scheming for it, which I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say I'm doubtful. I'm doubtful Nick's family scheming on it because Nick has a tax lien on his house because Cesar Gracie was getting all of his fucking fight checks and not paying taxes on him, so they put a lien on his house. So you know what? If his family were to get that money, they would do nothing but absolve the debt that Nick has already compiled. You feel me? That's all they would use that money for. There's so much debt on Nick with the house and everything like that. They would use the money for that most likely. I don't think the family's going to steal it. I think they probably want it so that they can clear up some of Nick's debt and get his life back in order because Nick doesn't know about these things. He doesn't know how to handle these things. And then they'd probably give him the rest of it or something like that. But I don't think they're trying to necessarily steal from him. And keep in mind, you got to have Nate around. Okay, Nate, if Nate ever caught wind that somebody stole money from his brother, he'd fucking beat the fuck out of him. Okay? He'd beat the fuck out of him. If anybody in the family tried to steal money from Nick, you got Nate over here watching his back. But Nick doesn't see it like Nate got his back like that. You feel me? But I believe Nate does got his back like that. But yeah, that's the thing. You know, two parties, people think that they both want Nick's check. Who wants it? Who wants Nick's check? You know, that's all I'm going to say. No, you saying everything you are saying from what I understand while being with Nick is 100% real. When he first got to Baja Rehab, he always said he didn't use drugs, and then the rehab put videos of him. Yeah, so yeah, Nick, I mean, I'm telling you guys the truth, right? I'm telling you guys the truth. Even No You, who's been with Nick firsthand in rehab, is telling me that, yeah, Nick's, I mean, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say somewhat denial. Maybe Nick is telling the truth, right? So I don't even want to use the word denial. But let's just say Nick has always refuted that he took drugs, that the drug tests are real. Where would I get that from? Where would I get that from? You guys know by now. I'm going to stop fucking trying to prove that I'm fucking not lying because you guys all know it, but I just like to rub it in a little bit. But shout out to everybody. That, you know, that's a pretty good hour long, you know, rant right there. That's pretty much, you know, a lot of the stuff I had to say today. I wanted to get off my chest about that whole, you know, settlement check thing. The thing I said before that, which I already forgot. But, you know, that's really what I wanted to get off my chest today. Dale J saying then Nick was getting milkshakes once he got a clear head. I think the funniest thing of this whole thing was the milkshake comment, and I knew it would be. I knew it would be. In fact, I went to the gym with my homie earlier, and I tested it on him. I tested the milkshake story on him, and he was dying laughing. So I knew it was going to work on you boys. I tested it in real time at the gym with my homie. I told him about the milkshake. He was dying laughing. Hell of a milkshake is crazy, Jew. I'm dying. Let me see. Nathan Johnson. I heard it was a Xanax they put in the shake. Xan shake from Dale J. Could be. Could easily be a Xanax. Okay, so No You is saying Kayla sent the rehab a bunch of videos of Nick smoking meth. I saw them when he was in rehab. Yeah, because a lot of people forget, No You. A lot of people forget, you know, what did Kayla post on her story before Nick got into rehab after Nick, that video of Nick lighting grass on fire or incense on fire surfaced? Kayla went viral because she posted on her story about addiction, a cryptic post to her story about addiction, saying like eventually addiction will kill you or take over, right? So it just proves, if you guys remember, you remember. If you don't, you haven't been following it closely and you just need to take my word for it. But I'm telling you, after the video surfaced of Nick lighting incense on fire, courtesy of Kayla, okay, Kayla was behind the camera on that. It's already been confirmed. After that was posted, Kayla also posted a cryptic message to her story speaking about Nick's addiction, right? The word addiction was in that story. She said something about addiction, ruins your life, it takes over, something along those lines. Then Nick went into rehab. Now you're hearing No You, who met Nick firsthand in rehab. He was in rehab with Nick firsthand. He's saying Kayla sent in videos of Nick smoking meth. Okay, because Kayla wasn't in support. Kayla was in support of Nick being in rehab all the way until it stopped serving her best interest because he kicked her out of her house. Then she wanted to pull him out. I would ask her that to her face. Why did you want to take Nick out after you got kicked out of his home? Is that timeline correct? You were ignoring him before that. He wanted you out of the home. Then you decided you want him out of rehab and started talking to him again. You're the one who wanted him in there in the first place, weren't you? So why did you want him out? Nathan Johnson saying Kayla 209 has no good written all over her. I'm not good at choosing him either, but sheesh. Yeah. Shout out to Nathan Johnson. I'm trying to refrain from making assumptions. I be making assumptions here and there, but I'm trying to keep my judgmental assumptions to a minimum. You feel me? I don't mind assuming here or there, but I'll leave the judgment to you boys. All right. And I don't blame you boys. So don't think I'm putting myself above you. I like the judgmental fucking comments as well. Someone got to say it. Someone got to say it. I prefer you guys to say it than me. So keep it coming. Swear to God, I just heard a noise in my fucking house. Ain't no one in here but me. That lady, she probably pissed off right now. Oh well. America First in the chat. What up, America First? So you're getting the Candace treatment. This is what happens when you think outside the box, when you try to connect the dots just like Candace. Shit, there we go, America First. Maybe I was wrong about Candace, America First. I gotta look into her a bit more. But I think, you might be onto something, homie. This is what happens when you think outside the box. As soon as you start putting yourself on and people start to see, the success coming your way, not that this is giving me crazy success, don't get me wrong, but people have a weird way of just not wanting me to be right about this. That's what I'll say. People have a weird way of not wanting me to be right about this. But if Ariel, this is what I was thinking today. This is what I'm trying to say, even though I probably am saying it weirdly. But if Ariel were to post that the Diaz brothers are beefing, no one would bat an eye because Ariel's a credible journalist, right? He's been doing it for years, et cetera, et cetera. But when I post that the Diaz brothers are beefing, oh no, not this nobody YouTuber, as someone so kindly called me earlier in the stream to start it off, right? Not this nobody YouTuber reporting on the biggest stars in the game. No, this can't be it. No, he gotta be lying. Not this nobody, let's try to discredit him. But if Ariel posted it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It would be his job, right? It would be news, right? So, yeah, I'm paving a lane. Let's put it like this. I'm making a lane for myself. And it seems like some of these people, right, it's going to take them a minute to get on board. But shit, the lane has already been paved. The lane's already been paved. I'm in the mix. Like I said earlier, I'm in the mix. You know what I mean? Uncancelable. Go ahead and try it. You can't cancel me. Go ahead and try it. Diddy ass shake. Dale J says it's probably Moneyberg that's in your house. Easy money. Easy money. Let me go submit him real quick then. Nate Diaz is my favorite I don't care fighter. What up, buyer seller? Hit the like button. Ghost. I mean, there's something in my house, boys. Oh, favorite UFC fighter. Yeah, Nate Diaz, one of my favorite fighters as well. But what's crazy too is how much I love the Diaz brothers. And it's like, bro, I'm even saying, stop crying about this fucking bullshit about them beefing like it's this catastrophic news. They are beefing. It's real. And stop getting in your feelings about it. If I'm saying that as one of the biggest Diaz brother fans out there, shit, everyone being too sensitive. Juice Man says your lives are live as fuck. Shit. Shout out to Juice Man. I don't fully know what that means, but I mean, they're as live as it gets, homie. They're as live as it gets. Like, this is straight live stream. Ain't nothing fake about it. Ain't nothing premeditated about it. There's no fourth wall in here. I show you boys everything. If that's what you're talking about, Juice Man. Um, Juice says Kayla isn't even from the 209 either. Damn. Where's she from, Jew? I don't know if Sacramento's 209. Oh, Jew saying. Okay, so Jew saying, what's up with the pod with MTK? That's a great question, Jew. That's a great question, Jew. Dylan saying, just give Castro the check, talking about my motherfucking, or the settlement check. Shout out to Dylan. Give me that check. I don't know what to do with it. I ain't going to steal it. I don't even have a fucking lot of money, and I wouldn't even do Nick dirty. I would do Nick dirty, less dirty than the people closest to him. Nate has enough to do that anyways without a check. Okay, my bad. I want to address what Jew said. What's up with the pod with MTK? Jew, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I'm going to keep it a buck with the stream. I'm going to have to talk to MTK. I'm going to have to talk to MTK. This isn't a conversation we've had yet. But if I'm being real, I think I'm going to announce it right now. You know, I'm going to say it like this. I'm not going to go definitively, but the podcast with MTK could be coming to an end. It could be coming to an end. All right. We were actually supposed to do the stream today. I'm going to just give you guys some details. He texted me yesterday. Or not yesterday. He texted me last week telling me, this week isn't good, even though I was probably going to bail on it last week too, just because there's nothing to really talk about. But he reached out to me first. He said, this week isn't good, but next week I'll be ready. Right. So I texted him today kind of late because I also forgot about it because we haven't been consistent with it. Also, I was on the phone with Nick, Kayla, and my other source. So I was busy today. I reached out to him about an hour before the pod, and I'm like, yo, you still able to hop on the pod today? Like, my bad for hitting you up late. I've just been busy. And so he tells me, yeah, or we can do it next week before UFC 324. So I'm like, this week works good for me, bro. Like, there's nothing wrong with this week unless you don't have anything to talk about, right? And that's basically what he responded. He's like, I don't got anything to talk about this week. And I'm like, okay, well, if you don't got nothing to talk about, let's go next week, right? I follow that up and I say, by the way, I don't blame you for having nothing to talk about this week. It's all good. There hasn't been much news going on, but next week is going to be fight week. So please start paying attention to the MMA news. I don't think that's much to ask, right? I don't think that's much to ask at all. You're going to be on a fucking top MMA live stream. I would expect the least you can do is pay attention to the news. So when I said, okay, just pay attention to the news moving forward because, shit's going to start kicking off again. The break's over with. He was telling me he got a promotion at work, and it's just difficult. So he was very non-committal to even paying attention to the news cycle over the next week. And so we just have to have the conversation again, are you too busy for the podcast? Because having a lack of passion on the podcast is not good for it. I don't want a lack of passion on the podcast. I'd rather do it by myself if you're just going to come on here and go through the motions and not be invested in anything, right? Because you have other stuff going on that takes priority. Just go do whatever takes priority. But if you got priorities in life, but you also are passionate about being on the podcast, creating good content, then I would love to have you on. But if you're not passionate about being on the podcast, creating good content, taking your role seriously as a co-host on this podcast because you have other stuff going on, which is good. Nothing against my homie getting a promotion in his job and being more busy. But if that makes the podcast less of a priority, then I don't want to take a hit by him being less committed. I'd rather just cancel it. So I'm going to just say I'm considering canceling it again. We got to have a discussion. Like I said, if he's going to be passionate and he wants to create good content because he feels like he's got it in him, he has a platform, he got a seat next to me. But if he doesn't want to do that, then it's just going to bring me down because I'm passionate about making content. I want to make great content. And if I don't get somebody to bounce off of like that, right, who's on the same page as me, you're killing my vibe, right? You're straight killing my vibe because I'm over here crashing out left and right, trying to give the boys what they want, right? All the viewers, my loyalty is to you boys. All right, I'm trying to give you boys what you boys want to see, what you boys want to hear. and I cannot have my co-host, watering down the product. That's where we're at with it. But with all that being said, the reason why I reached out to MTK, right, in the first place was because when I first met him, I loved his personality. I said, this guy, he got that personality I'm looking for. He like me. He got that star personality. And I'm not trying to glaze myself. I'm glazing up MTK. Okay, so don't get me wrong. But I'm like, you know what? I see what I see in MTK what I also see in myself, right? And I think MTK could be big. That's why I brought him on. Okay? Because he got a personality. He funny. He quirky, right? He got character to him. He also, I'm more hardcore, he more casual, to keep it a buck. And it's a great dynamic for the podcast because he's able to open up these questions and these topics that I would never even dive into because I'm so hardcore, right? But he allows me to answer them for the casual audience. He represents the average fan. So I love having MTK on the pod. I've tried to make this work for a long time. I'm gonna still try to make it work, but I will draw the line at not being passionate and not believing in yourself that you can make great content. If you're not passionate, if you don't believe you can make great content and want to take full advantage of this platform, then as much as I love you, we got to discontinue and I got to carry on by myself and probably find a new host who I see star qualities in, right? Because I love the podcast. I love the podcast. I love the podcast, but I have a certain standard that I'm not willing to settle for. You know, it cannot go below the standard that I set. So that's it. Jew, I appreciate the question asking for the MTK pod. Yeah, it was supposed to happen today. I spoke to MTK today. We're on good terms. We're not on bad terms by any means. Don't get me wrong, right? Even if MTK is watching this, I said this in a way where, hopefully, he completely understands what I'm saying. It ain't no hate towards MTK. It's all love, and that's a conversation we're going to have in the near future. Before next Wednesday, for sure. But I'm behind on chats right now, so I'm gonna get caught up in a second. But I'm just reading some of the old chats. Um, Tino saying Kay and Martin definitely want that check. I do believe Nick tested positive for a lot of things. I live in South Texas. The drugs ain't pure anymore. Okay, so Tino, there we go. It's for you guys to decide, right? I'm giving you guys the facts, what Nick is saying, what the family is saying, and I'm mostly interested to hear what the public, is siding with. And it seems like the public is siding with Nick's family and not Nick, crazy enough. And I think it's important for me to put this out there, bro, because it's like, Nick's not listening to his family, right? Nick's listening to Kay. And I think if Nick comes across some of my content, looks at the polls, looks at the comments, he's going to be like, what the fuck? Why is my family and all the fucking MMA fans, me too, right? As the journalist, why is everybody leaning on the side of my family? What am I missing? Right? Maybe that's enough to wake his ass up. So I don't know. Or, Nick is right too. That's my thing is like in the back of my head, I'm always like, but what if Nick is fucking telling the truth and his family's the manipulators? I don't know. And that's why I'm trying not to fucking assume too many things. But maybe the people can judge through the character, right? You guys watching right now, maybe you guys can judge through the character, be that middleman, right? And if Nick sees enough people that are siding with his family and not him, maybe that'll be a wake-up call for him. That's just, my thought. Nathan saying he was in South Texas before he went to rehab too. He was, Nathan. I was just going to mention that. Nick was in Texas. He was in Austin, I believe, training at Shakur Stevenson's gym, getting ready for a fight. Staying with a black manager. I don't know his name. I think his name is Kevin. But if I'm not mistaken, he was staying with a guy named Kevin. His manager happens to be of black descent. Okay. Jew says, I know for a fact Nick spent many years partying with in the 209, doing a ton of blow, because I know a chick who did it with him. Then once blow doesn't do it for you anymore, you go with something harder. There we go, Jew. Hey, small town. I think 209, Stockton, Lodi, small town, right? I don't doubt your story, homie. I don't doubt it at all. Shout out to Jew for that. You know what I mean? He knows people who have allegedly been partying with Nick in clubs in Lodi, Stockton area. Everybody like the stream. Everybody who subscribed who's not subscribed. I got no idea how many people are watching right now. But I'm sure you boys are loving it. I'm so confident you boys are loving it. I don't even got to check the numbers. You're not getting juice like this anywhere else. You could go tap into a live stream. You'll be back here in 5 minutes. Less, probably. Less. Um, America First saying, just like weed is a gateway drug, once you get immune to it, you either move on to something harder or start adding shit to it. If you know, you know. Shit, shout out to everybody who be smoking those mobiles out there. You guys know mobiles? Mobiles? Tobacco and weed? Shit, you boys are crazy. That's like straight heroin right there. Tobacco and weed out the bong is like straight heroin. You know, I smoked weed my whole life. I never had any urge to do anything else. Never will to. That's why, you know, in my opinion, if you don't want to be on drugs, the gym is a great alternative because you can't be on drugs and hit the gym and live a healthy lifestyle. You feel me? Not even the gym, just doing sports and shit. Like if you show up to jiu-jitsu every night, you're going to stay off meth, aren't you? You're not going to do coke. You're going to be managing it a lot better. So hitting the gym, fitness, health, prioritizing making yourself feel good is the best way to stay sober and not want to desire for more harder drugs. All right. You guys don't need to be desiring for more harder drugs out there. I am super against that. Okay. I'm super against that. I'm being for real. Drinking and fucking smoking is chill, but come on, boys. Cut it off with that. Cut it off with that. I'm not going to judge you. You know, I'm friends with people who be doing drugs, but I'm just saying. I'll co-sign alcohol and fucking weed if you want to live a healthy lifestyle, right? But any of that other shit, I mean, you're really sacrificing a healthy lifestyle. AJD saying, I don't know if meth gets you as high as coke, so I don't know if a cokehead would like it more. But I guess not either. But there's definitely a hardness to coke that is OP to meth. I guess the short half life. AJD, you know too much about meth and coke, homie. Shout out to AJD. I don't normally read out his comments, even though I love him and I love the comments coming. But AJD knows why I don't read out his comments. He says I don't have to. Dale saying good promotion for Diaz versus Diaz on Power Slap. I know people are saying the brothers should fight. Juice Man says, damn, I just realized I was super behind on stream. Back on track. Shout out to Juice Man. Diaz Bros and Masvidal are numero uno for me. Yeah, I'm a big Masvidal fan as well. Okay. So Miata Boy's saying, okay, all right. So let the chat, the chat, let me fucking know. Let me know right now if you guys want MTK on here. All right, backed by popular demand. Maybe if my man is feeling because I'm sensing it. I'm just sensing it. I'm feeling like he's not in his creative fucking content bag right now. That's what I'm sensing. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You guys always know I keep it a buck, and I'm gonna tell MTK this. Okay, but I just sense that MTK is not in his creative bag right now. But why don't you guys, the chat, let me know, let MTK know you guys like him on the platform. Okay, because we got Miata Boy saying, Jacob, wake the fuck up. You can't switch up on our boy, MTK. We will not switch up on our day ones. Just do it one time a month. I don't want to switch up on my homie. I'm feeling a switch up from him because of, you know, the new job and shit like that. You feel me? I'm feeling a switch up from him because of the new job and shit like that. So I'm just kind of being like, look, bro, the podcast can't take a hit because you're more busy. You know, I need you to still, love the podcast. If you don't love the podcast, you're going to break my motherfucking heart, bro. But best believe I want MTK on here. Like, I like the dynamic. I've told him this. I've told MTK this several times. He knows how I feel. He legit knows how I feel. Trust me, if the podcast does not continue, it's not because of me. It's because MTK, you know, he didn't want to continue it. And the one thing I told you I'm not going to sacrifice is a downgrade in content. You know what I mean? Either you're going to bring the energy to the podcast and be excited to be on here, regardless of what you got going on outside, or you're not, right? Passion is passion, you know, and either you have it for the podcast or you don't, right? I got a lot of things I'm doing every day, and I put passion into all of it because it's all things I love, okay? Creating content, right? Hitting the gym, relationships. Okay, I put passion into all these things because they're things I love, no matter how busy I am. Okay, so I'm not going to accept like, oh, I'm more busy, so I'm less passionate. No, it's not going to work for me, homie. If you're passionate, you're passionate. And that's the only thing we got to discuss right now. But listen, once again, I love MTK. I've essentially, you know, begged MTK. Like, not begged him, but I've essentially been like, look, bro, your weight is as good as gold here. I love you. Love making content with you. And like, you know, I always want you on the podcast. But if it's something that you're too busy for, then we are going to have to part ways, you know, but I always want you on here. Understand that. That's how clear I made it to him. That's how clear I made it to him. That's essentially begging. You feel me? That's essentially begging. So I love my boy. All right. I love my boy. But, you know, also it's time, right? It's 2 hours out of the week, right? And you got to see value in it if you're him. This is my platform. Of course, I see value in it, right? But I want to make sure that he sees it as valuable for his time. If it's not valuable for his time, why is he wasting it on here, right? And that's for him to let me know. But at the end of the day, you know, it is 2 hours a week. That is something. And I don't want it to be a burden on his schedule. You feel me? If it's something, there's two things. Is it something you want to do, or is it something you have to do? And I don't want it to be something he has to do. I want it to be something he wants to do. Point blank, period. Snap out of it, Jacob. I know, homie. I know. Don't worry. I'm snapped out of it. We're all good. Me and MTK are all good. You guys got me ranting over here. But you guys like it. I know you guys like it. You guys don't want to hear the MMA shit right now. You guys would rather hear about my fucking podcast dramas than hear about Kayla Harrison missing weight. I know that much. Jew saying, what happened with that Friday dude? Shout out to fucking Jew. My man Jew got all the questions today. You know, I got to reach back out to him. I've just been taking my time reaching back out to him. We're going to do the you know, monthly streams for the numbered events, right? So even they might not even be monthly because we got back-to-back numbered events to start the year. But I think especially if MTK gets canceled, we're definitely going to continue with him with I Am Saturday. But I need to reach back out to him. Jew, I need to reach back out to him. I need to reach back out to him. But it's like, I don't know. So, you know, as you guys can tell, I'm like, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, boys. I don't know. I like being solo dolo sometimes, just running my own content. You know what I mean? I don't think I got a problem being by myself, but I like to have other co-hosts, right? So I think I am going to try to work it out with I Am Saturday. I think I Am Saturday will be a great addition. I just need to stop being so negative right now. Maybe I do need to snap out of it, Miata boy. Maybe I do need to snap out of it. I think fucking Saturday would be a great addition. Juice Man saying, LFG, you're a real one. By the way, why I'm saying Saturday will be a good addition, because Saturday gets the whole posting game, right? That's the one thing I think, you know, MMA, I'll just be honest, right? MTK could be better at that. You know, understanding when we're making clips, when we're in a moment that's going to get posted, right, in the podcast. You got to be aware of this kind of thing. And Saturday is really aware of that, and he's also very aware of what to clip off. And, you know, Saturday and me are a bit different, where like I clip off drama, stuff that kind of gets clicks and views. I also post some news, but I mix it in, right? I almost prioritize the crazy stuff. Saturday, he posts a whole nother side of things, like the breakdowns, the matchups, the stuff Miata Boy likes. So I think Saturday can bring something really good to the platform. I think I was just caught up in being negative for a second, but those are the positive things I think about Saturday. Why I think he's a good addition. Why I reached out to him as well. So I think me and Saturday will still keep it going, Jew. I just need to reach out to him. Shout out to Jew for fucking reminding me. America versus give your upstairs neighbor a shot at being your co-host. You never know. Oh boy. That would be hilarious, America First. I bet you I'd get a bunch of views because you guys will be locked in on the dynamic. But I think that will have to wait, America First. I don't know if you know this, America First, but we exchanged numbers the other day. Did you hear about that one? We exchanged numbers walking past each other on the staircase, America First. And she texted me last night telling me I was being a bit loud. America First saying Nick is the type of guy that will do what he wants at the end of the day. True. Dylan says once Nick got introduced to alcohol, it was all over. Buyer seller saying I just quit the tobacco weed combo recently. Yeah, shout out to the mobiles, buyer seller. The tobacco weed combo is harder to quit than actual weed itself. Tobacco weed combo is like heroin. I never really did it, but that shit's fucking intense. And I see in my homies, they get all skinny when they start doing that. The tobacco and weed, they start getting all skinny and shit like that. They get super addicted to it. They can't even smoke regular weed anymore without the tobacco. Dylan says, when I did Kush, I was more paranoid about my martial arts instructor finding out than my parents. Dylan, that's so funny. When I was 18 training jujitsu, same here. I was so terrified of my jujitsu instructor finding out about it until I fucking got out and experienced life more. And I'm like, what the fuck was he going to do about it if he caught me? He wasn't going to do shit about it if he caught me. What was I tripping over? Don't trip over it, Dylan. People don't give a fuck if you smoke weed. Believe me. And if they yell at you over it, get them out of your life ASAP. That's my advice to you, Dylan. Dale says, I heard this new drug, meth, has zero side effects. I just got a text message. But I've been talking fucking softly. I ain't doing this. I've been talking softly. Dale's saying, I heard this new drug, meth, has zero side effects is crazy. Call it the milkshake pod. Shout out to the fucking milkshake. Buyer seller says, I'll take his place on the podcast. Yeah, shit. Maybe we have to start considering something like that. We will see. Maybe some more Discords. Let the boys hop in on a Discord call for the live stream. Miata Boy says, just make it 1 or 2 times a month. There's not enough news for 1 time a week. No, I get it, Miata Boy, but it's like, read the text. I just got like 3 more fucking vibrations. I'll read the text. Soda Pop. Soda Pop been in here or what? Oh, Soda Pop just got in here. Perfect timing, Soda Pop. Soda Pop in here right on time. It's 3 a.m. Eastern. Of course he's in here. Right on time for Soda Pop. Tino saying, gotta go to bed. Good night, guys. Good night, Tino. By the way, everybody watching right now, you already know the deal. Like the stream one more time. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm finna read this text message once I get to the bottom of the chats. Miata Boy, I just was gonna say real quick, I get what you're saying with 1 or 2 times a month, and I'll keep my mind open for it. But 1 time a week is good because it's more consistent. People finna forget about MTK within a month, even though you boys are still asking about him and he hasn't been on in a month, which is crazy. Shout out to MTK. You're loved in the chat, homie, if you see this. Juice Man says, this is the place to be for real. It's the place to be, homie. It's the place to be. Shout out to Juice Man. My man, Juice Man. Juice Man, does your area code happen to be 562 or no? Because I know people in LA County with the area code 562. Soda Pop saying hi. Kayla versus Nunez getting canceled was great news. Love you, Dana. It was great news. When I saw it, I was like, oh no. Oh no. Shit. What I'm gonna eat for breakfast? That's what I thought. Oh no. Shit. What I'm gonna eat for breakfast? Jew says Nick is on drugs because of Ronda Rousey. Jew, how the fuck do you know that? You're not wrong, Jew, but how the fuck do you know that? You know, this is stuff I've been hearing from my sources too. Actually, you know, I was speaking to Nick today about that whole Ronda thing. Apparently, like, Nick hadn't drank before until he met Ronda Rousey, oddly enough. Is that what you're referring to, Jew? Nick had never drank until he met Ronda Rousey? Apparently, that's true. You know, but I also heard from my source, I'm going to tell you guys this one. Nick apparently did meth when he was like 13. The girlfriend's dad that he was dating at the time was a meth dealer. That's what I got told today. But you explain that thing about, you know, Nick getting on drugs because of Ronda Rousey, because I'm pretty sure Nick told me today that he never drank until he met Ronda Rousey. Soda Pop, Natalia Silva on the main card is way better than Nunez versus Kayla stinking up the co-main. It is. It is. Shout out to Natalia Silva. And I think she's fighting Rose, right, Soda Pop? Juice Man says, don't let anyone tell you what to do. Tell him drink duck nut. Shit, that's exactly what I'm going to tell her, Juice Man. I'm going to say, drink this motherfucking duck nut, bitch. I ain't going to say that. Shout out to you boys. You know I'm talking softly right now because it's midnight here and she's trying to sleep. The motherfucking bitch trying to sleep, boys. Come on now. What the fuck? What the fuck going on with that? Read the text. I'm going to read it right now. Saxby says, been watching the Armand Sarukian stream with Neon and Aiden. They are really good. I saw the clip of Armand calling Neon gay for dyeing his hair blonde. And like, I will say this real quick. You know, shout out to all the boys in the chat who might have colored hair. It's nothing really against you. It's nothing really against you. I've also considered once or twice in my life dyeing my hair. All right. But honestly, if you really want to be on some man shit, if you really want to give off secure, right? Don't ever fucking dye your hair. Okay? Don't ever fucking dye your hair. All right? I'm going to just say it. You guys don't need to do it. It's a power move to not dye your hair. Okay? Dyeing your hair, in my opinion, I've considered it. I've considered it. And I told myself I'd be lame if I did that. So if anyone dyes their hair, you're not lame. You know, maybe it's you, maybe it's your style. But really, I do think, you know, you guys don't need to dye your hair. Power move, don't dye your fucking hair. All right? I know you might want to dye your hair to get some hot chick you're craving for. Shit, you don't got to dye your hair, homie. You don't got to dye your hair. Juice Man says, yes, 562, bro. It's Long Beach. I got you, Juice Man. Hey, that's how you know I'm tapped in. That's how you know I'm tapped into LA County as well, homie. I recognize the area codes. Okay, let's read the text. It's definitely for sure her. Like 100,000%. This bitch is just replying from something last night. So this is what she's saying. Oh, good. I always wonder how much you hear from us. Because, you know, she was saying something like, my guy said, this is from last night. She's saying, my guy said the other day that he had indigestion and you could hear him and said, OMG, it's crazy that this is how much we hear from each other's apartments. And I said, I didn't hear your guy's indigestion. LOL. It must have been the other neighbor. And so she says, oh, good. I always wonder how much you hear from us. I can right now hear almost every word you say. And trust me, I'd rather sleep. And then she says, you cannot play those video games before 10 p.m. question mark. Honestly, I think the apartments need better insulation. This isn't normal. I'm thinking to buy noise canceling panels because no one can live like this. So she's getting tortured by me, boy. She's getting. I feel bad for her because she's straight getting tortured. She's straight getting tortured. She's straight up getting tortured. But you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Buy earplugs. I'm gonna tell her that. I'm gonna tell her to buy earplugs. I'm gonna say in the past I bought earplugs. They work tremendously. They work tremendously. Earplugs do work tremendously. If anyone's ever, honestly, boys, if you want to up your sleep game, earplugs and a sleep mask. Earplugs and sleep mask, bro. You're out for the night, like cold, 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 cold. All right, what else we got in here? Okay, so Dale saying, "Will Nick fight again? Did he say, or is that a rap?" Nick said it on a video. Dale, Nick says that all he knows to do is fight, so that's what he's gonna do. The only question is Nick still a part of the UFC, which I don't think he is. And then if that's the case, he's probably gonna go into boxing, Dale. So if Nick's not a part of the UFC anymore, he's definitely going into boxing. But he will fight again, Dale. That's what he's saying he's gonna do. He's gonna fight again. Juice Man saying North Long Beach be my stomping grounds. Shout out to the LBC. Shout out to Juice Man. Marcos Leon saying, to be fair, Jake could give some money to Nick off that. We don't know for sure, but hopefully. I mean, come on now. You really think Jake's gonna like be like, hey bro, here's 20% of the ad revenue. He's keeping all that, Marco. He's keeping all that. I don't know who needs to tell you that, Marco, but he's keeping all of that, homie. He's keeping all of it. Dale J saying Ronda gave him a bottle. I mean, essentially, Dale, essentially. Dylan saying, now I want to try a mobile. I mean, shit, you could try it, homie. I'm not going to tell you not to. It ain't the end of the world. I fucking hated mobiles. Like, absolutely hated them. I found them repulsive. In fact, if my homie was smoking mobiles out of his bong all the time, I was like, nah, I ain't even hitting that. I'm just not smoke weed, and I'm gonna just go home and smoke weed when I get home. Like, it was that fucking insufferable for me, Dylan. But, 90% of people seem to like mobiles. I'm like one of the 10% who fucking hates them. Juice saying, I'm tapped into the lore, bro. Rhonda herself admitting to getting Nick into drinking and partying. Yeah, Jew. And Nick told me that on the phone today, homie. So, validated, verified by both parties. Rhonda, right, claiming it. Nick also claiming it. So that's super true, Jew. Shout out to Jew. There's some details that I've been learning about lately that have been skipping my mind. So I'm glad you and other people have been able to bring up some things that, like, yeah. Also, Nick confirmed that with me on the phone. So I meant to mention that to you guys as well. Marco saying it's not around as fault. That is such a reach. He probably got depressed after not being able to fight for years. Oh, Marco saying it's not Ronda's fault. I mean, Marco, Nick told me it's Ronda's fault. Or Nick didn't tell me it's Ronda's fault. He's on drugs, but Nick told me Ronda got him into drinking. Jew's opinion is that it's Ronda's fault that he got into drugs after getting him into drinking. And, Jew's entitled to that opinion. Oh, he's saying low key was just a joke. I feel you, Jew. I feel you. I kind of sense that too. A little bit of sarcasm there. Dale saying, I'm sure people have offered Nick plenty of drinks in his life. Can't be blaming a chick for your decision to have a drink. I mean, yeah, you guys aren't wrong either. Ronda definitely, like, if we're being super serious, right? The only person to blame is Nick. But I think just food for thought. I mean, Ronda did give Nick his first drink, so to speak. Nick did not drink until he met Ronda. Make of that what you will. It's getting difficult to, like, talk monotone and quietly and fast at the same time. So if you notice something's off, that would be why. Buyer seller saying, Dylan, if you try that, you're going to be addicted to the nicotine rush. Yeah, Dylan, be careful with the mobiles. But at the end of the day, it's all on you. If you were telling me you want to do cocaine, I'd be like, fuck you, Dylan. If I was there, I'd slap you. All right. But if you want to do a fucking mobile, shit, who am I to stop you? But be careful. They are very addictive, and I've been honest about them. You know, if anything, they're low key somewhat like heroin. My homies have gotten real skinny off of them. Tread carefully with the mobiles. Marco saying, keep Moneyberg away from Nick. He might try and take advantage since Nick could probably use some money right now. Oh, for sure. For sure, Marco. That's Jake's next move. Introduce fucking Nick to Moneyberg. Jew says nobody put the pipe to Nick's mouth but him. And if Rhonda never put that puss on him and gave him a drink, where would he be? Jew, tremendously put. Tremendous fucking question. Shit. I'm with you, Jew. I know what you're saying. I'm not going to say it, but I'm with you, Jew. Okay. She put that pussy on him. She gave him a drink and fucking murder she wrote. You feel me, Jew? Murder she wrote. She put that pussy on him. She put that pussy on him, gave him a drink, and murder she wrote. Okay, it was over from there. Shit, I'm entertaining, boys. I'm entertaining. Don't take me seriously with that. But shit, she put that pussy on him now, boys. She gave him a drink now. All right? There's something there. All right? I love that fucking quote from Jew. Bleach blonde tips, super gay, buyer seller, but it's okay. It's okay. I don't judge people with dyed hair as much as I would look down on myself, if that makes sense. The reason, because like, I see other people with dyed hair, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Then when I consider it for myself, I'm like, nah, you're gay, homie. You're gay, homie. Slap yourself for even thinking that. So I don't even hate on other people for dyed hair. In fact, it motivates me to get it. But then when I think about it myself, I'm like, you're gay as fuck, homie. Slap yourself. Jew saying that Rhonda push drives people crazy. Hey, just ask Daddy Dana himself. Just ask Daddy Dana White, Jew. Shit, if you know, you know, boys. Shit. Rhonda put that pussy on Nick and it was over with. It was over with. Buyer seller, LMAO, she can hear you right now. She could definitely hear me, buyer seller. She could definitely hear me. But come on, bro. I don't give a fuck. Weird one says, I've dyed my hair nearly every color in the last decade. Hope you don't think I'm lame. LOL. I don't. HT. I don't. And before I even read your comment, I said what I said a second ago. I actually think it's cool when other people dye their hair. It motivates me to dye my hair. And then I think, nah, homie, you're gay. But you guys aren't gay for it. I think it's just my own standard for myself. And shit. Like I said, I don't mean to fucking get on you guys for dyeing your hair. So my apologies. Everybody do what they want to do. But I'm just saying, okay? You don't need to do it, okay? It ain't making you any more special. You're special exactly how you are, all right? To give it a positive PR spin, let me just end it like that, okay? You boys are special as you are. You don't got to give yourself no fucking hair color to make you more special. Whatever you're born with, shit. That's it. That's it. That's money, all right? That's all I'm really saying. That's all I'm really saying for sure. You not weird, HT. I'm gonna say it again. I love you, homie. Dale saying get a Moneyberg wig instead of coloring your hair. You'll get rich and a black belt. That little receding hairline wig, Dale. Um, let's see here. No, send a Amazon link to earplugs, buyer seller. Oh, that's a great idea, buyer seller. That's a great idea. I'm gonna tell her to buy earplugs, and I'm gonna send her a link from Amazon. Buy earplugs and forget. Jew, buy earplugs and forget, homie. She'll never fucking be barking on my chain again. I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna tell her. Forget the sound panels. Earplugs are the way to go, girl. Earplugs are the way to go. Shit, I'll even buy them for her. Eric says she'd probably been more understanding if you told her that you ran a YouTube show as opposed to saying you're playing video games. I know, bro. I was just trying to get her out of my fucking hair. All right. She was downstairs at my door. The stream was going. I figured if I told her I'm running a YouTube show, she's going to be like, oh, what's that? And I'm going to be there for another 5 minutes. So yeah, I probably made a mistake with that, Eric. Every time she references the video games, I'm like, God damn it, it's not video games. But that's okay. It's all the same to her. It's all the same to her. But yeah, she definitely wouldn't be asking me to do it at a different time. Maybe she would. But shit, Eric, we're gonna tell her to bite your earplugs and forget, homie. So the problem's gonna be over soon. We found a solution. I don't need to start the streams earlier. I don't need to tell her what I'm really up to. I just need to tell her to bite your earplugs and forget. Juice says, or Juice Man says, bro, that duck nut shit you said was hilarious shit, homie. You told me to say it. You told me to say it, homie. Juice Man says, I mean, if you're dyeing your hair like O'Malley, then you a fruitcake, IMO. To each their own. Shout out to Juice. No, that's what I'm saying with O'Malley. Like, hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. O'Malley, I think his hair, to some degree, with the dyes, it's looked cool. Like, that's one of the guys who I'm like, damn, maybe I should dye my hair like purple or something. You feel me? I'm not really a blonde guy, but I was like, maybe I should dye my hair purple. Fucking call me gay. You guys can call me gay. You can roast me. But anyway, I was looking at Sean and I was like, yeah, maybe I should dye my hair a little sexy color, right? But, you know, looking at Sean when he goes back to brown hair, that's why I'm saying, like, bro, your natural hair color ain't nothing wrong with it. A lot of people, I think, get bored or they think, like, I'd be better if I dyed my hair this color. Maybe I could get this chick or something like that. And it's like, if you're doing it for that reason, bro, I'm telling you, your natural shit is just as good, if not better. You know, O'Malley with the regular brown hair, undyed, ain't nothing wrong with it. It looks great. Even with the braids, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. So that's my only thing about the dyed hair. Saxby saying O'Malley can pull it off, but Neon is Indian. It looks weird. Yeah, and you know, I was also gonna say when you dye your hair for certain things, like I'm almost like, let me put it like this. If you're O'Malley, I can see the point, right? Getting eyes on you, getting attention by any means possible. You're on TV. It increases your checks as well, right? If you have higher viewership than everyone else because you dye your hair a certain color and you knock people out and it's this whole package, then so be it, right? I can understand it. I ain't finna hate on it. I ain't finna hate on anyone who dyes their hair. But I was also gonna say that's an exception. Also, an exception is like when I was wrestling in high school, I used to compete against this team in Temecula, and every year the wrestlers dye their hair blonde for the season. They bleach it blonde. So I mean, if you do something like that for your team, and that's like the tradition, then that's also a cool excuse, right? But if you're dyeing your hair, you know, as a streamer, right, like myself, if I were to dye my hair purple, I don't know, I think it is kind of lame. You know, if I were to dye my hair purple and hop on this camera, I think it would be kind of lame, if I'm being real. But if, you know, that shit's your personality and that's you, then shit, just be you. At the end of the day, just be you. Maybe I don't see the fucking mission, but you're just being you. And that is all that matters. You know, if you got it in you, if you got it in you to rock colored hair with confidence, it's all about the confidence. You feel me? It's all about the confidence. So I don't got the confidence to rock the colored hair. But my man HT does, and I know my man HT is balling. All right. Um, we getting in the weeds though, talking about this dyed hair a bit too much. I think that might be my sign to go. So we're gonna read up these last few chats, and I'm gonna head out. Much love to you boys. You know, yeah, Tank Davis. He got a warrant out for his arrest. You know, yeah, it's messy, but we don't give a fuck. We're not gonna waste our time with that, honestly. Honestly, it's in the headline, but I ain't even finna cover it. Just go to my Instagram page. All I'd be doing is reading that shit out to you anyway. I don't got no opinion. I don't got no opinion on it. Until he's proven guilty, I don't got no opinion on it. So yeah, we are. These are the topics for the day. I'm not bringing you any new news stories. This is it. So I'm gonna read these last chats and get out of here. We've been talking about colored hair for too long. Thoughts on dating colored haired chicks? I love it, Dylan. Now, women with colored hair, I love a colored haired baddie. Dylan, that's right up my alley, as a matter of fact. Man, nothing I love more than a fucking red haired baddie, a purple haired baddie, shit, even a blue haired baddie. You feel me? But yeah, a baddie that dyes her hair, Dylan, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Extra brownie points for the women who dye their hair. I'm literally all for it. And I'm not capping with you at all. I find it super sexy. I find it super sexy. A woman who dyes, who has like I said, purple hair, red hair, blue hair. Shit, I've seen it all. I find it super sexy. I mean, boom, I see you like a fucking like a magnet. Like I'm on that. I'm on that, Dylan. So Dylan, go get yourself a colored haired baddie, homie. That's what I would say. Buyer seller saying O'Malley did his shit to stand out. Yeah, I agree. I agree he did his shit to stand out, and it's a good excuse. Plus his girl was a hairdresser or some shit. Yep, exactly. Buyer seller. Another good excuse. Saxby saying, I feel like Sterling dyeing his hair is also super weird. Sterling does it green. I hate people pretending this is who O'Malley is. Exactly. That's why I said if you got it in you, if you got the confidence to rock it, that's really all that matters. If you got the confidence to rock it, or if you got a good excuse, shit, that's you, homie. But me, but me, I don't got the confidence to rock it. People would sense the insecurity. They would smell it on me. I'm more secure in my natural hair color. That's just me. I'm tired of talking about the hair. Okay, I'm tired of talking about the hair. Soda Pop saying, "Did you ever listen to Jukebox Joints by ASAP?" I didn't. Soda Pop, I didn't. I didn't. I'm sorry, homie. But I'm gonna watch American Psycho tonight. I got the Paramount Plus membership. And for the record, Paramount Plus, I had an issue with them right off the bat. I entered my email in there, and of course, I spelt the last digits. I put .con with an N, not com with an M, right? M as in Mary. And they didn't ask me to verify my email to re-enter it another time or something like that. So I only did it the one time. They accepted it. And then I basically couldn't get logged into my account for the longest fucking time because I didn't verify my account because I put in the wrong email. But they let me create a fucking account with an invalid email. And I was just trying shit out left and right, just trying shit, trying to figure out why the fuck I can't sign in. And I finally just like mistyped it again by accident. And then I realized I was like, oh, it's .con. So everyone who's signing up for Paramount, learn your lesson from me. Double check your email because I typed mine in wrong. They let me create my account, and I almost had to fucking ask for a refund because I got locked out of that shit for a minute. Um, yeah, I also got a juicy story for you guys, but I think I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. I think I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. It's a really funny, juicy story. It's off topic. It could be told at any time, so that's why I think I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. Buyer seller saying Sterling did green because that's his home city color or some shit. I think. Okay. I mean, Sterling's hair green is hard to tell. I didn't even notice it. Saxby says only O'Malley can be O'Malley. Shit. Only O'Malley can be O'Malley. I'd go through any alley with O'Malley. Shout out Snoop Dogg. Saxby Sterling did the green hair couple of fights. So weird for him after dissing O'Malley. There we go. Juice Man saying peace out, bro. Peace out, homie. But shit, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'd be saying I'm gonna hop off stream and then I'd be fucking on stream for like, you know what I'm saying? Another 20 minutes. Soda Pop saying Neon called a fake Kanye on stream and had him talk to Armand Sarukian. And Armand believed it. Armand's like, shit, Kanye. I don't know a single song of yours, but I love you. I wonder what Armand's reaction to Kanye was, though. It's probably nothing. Buyer seller, I'm like Thanos collecting gemstones for each new color. Miata Boy saying guru for whatever reason. Dylan says to add on to that, what about short hair chicks? Shit, Dylan, we love a short hair chick as well. That little bob that they got going on, we love it. We love it. We love a short hair chick, homie. It's real sexy, Dylan. It's real sexy. We love a short hair chick. And, it's telling. It's telling that she wants to get plowed. Okay. That's what when I see short hair and when I see colored hair, I think, oh, she want to get fucked tonight. She getting fucked tonight. She getting fucked tonight. She getting fucked tonight. She getting fucked tonight. You feel me, Dylan? When I see a girl with colored hair and or short hair, I think she getting fucked tonight. She getting fucked tonight. She getting fucked tonight. She getting fucked tonight. Shit. And if you got both, you really getting fucked tonight. You feel me, homie? Now I don't mean to get so fucking sexual, but I did get sexual. All right. Um, Saxby telling me you are too old for that shit. Anyway, boys, have a good evening, a good morning to the Europeans. Saxby, I'm too old for colored haired baddies. Is that what you're telling me, Saxby? I don't know if you could ever be too old for a colored haired baddie. Ruthless or Soda Pop saying Paramount got good movies, bro. I know, homie. And they got South Park and shit. Paramount's actually low key dope. Minus my sign up process, Paramount low key dope. I've been watching some South Park. But, if you don't got that, if anyone don't know, I'm sure you know if you're a South Park fan. But if you don't got Paramount, the next best thing, southparkstudios.com. You can watch all the episodes for free. southparkstudios.com. Sax be telling everyone to like the chat before you leave. Definitely like the chat. Dale saying, or what? Or fucking we'll find you, homie. We will find you and hit that like button for you, homie. Franklin, haha, let's go. Didn't know Sterling was green, LMAO. Dale says, when did this become a hairdresser's live stream? When we ran out of topics. When we ran out of topics to discuss, homie. And that's why we're going to end it here. Soda Pop saying W Gunna song. Shout out to Gunna. He snitched, but he's still making better music than the dudes who didn't snitch. All right. Gunna snitched. I mean, essentially Thug snitched too. But Gunna snitched, and the rappers are accepting him back because he makes better music than all of them. Oh, Franklin saying too old dye hair. Think he meant LOL. Yeah, I'm definitely too old to dye my hair, Saxby. Definitely too old. That's a young 20s game. That's a young 20s game. That's the other thing I was going to mention. Do it when you're young, because once you hit like above 25, 26, I'd say once you hit above like 27, okay, let's draw the line at 27. Maybe consider not dyeing your hair past 27. Cage side access saying, what's good, brother? What's good, homie? We're actually ending the stream now. I'm glad you finally made it in here, but we are ending the stream now. So much love to all you guys. Sorry for the fucking monotoneness at the end of the stream. You guys all know why at this point. But yeah, we'll be live tomorrow. I hope you boys enjoyed the updates. Tonight was not as messy, but it was kind of messy. It was kind of messy. And we're standing 10 toes down on the whole Diaz drama. Later, bruv. Later, everybody. Peace out, Kevin. Peace out, Cage Side Access. Peace out, Soda Pop. Peace out, Dale, Franklin, Saxby, Dylan, Miata Boy, Buyer Seller. Okay, Juice Man, Dylan. Who else? Eric. All right, HT, aka Weird One now. Marcos, new in the chat. Everybody who's new in the chat, by the way, subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. We are live pretty much every night. Especially, you know what? We're live every night now. We took a little bit of an inconsistency over the last week just because the topics have been fucking barren, but we're live every night. So everybody subscribe to the channel. Everybody like the video. And shout out to Jew, if I haven't shouted out Jew yet. And yeah, everybody else, Tino, all the people in here. Shout out to all you guys. AJD, can't forget America First, can't forget. Otto, can never forget Otto. Everybody in the chat. I appreciate you guys always tuning in, and I will see you guys tomorrow, guaranteed. All right, Nathan Johnson. All right, know you. Shout out to know you. Everybody, though. All right, peace out, you guys. That's the final one. I'll see you guys tomorrow.